Welcome to the Virtual Wide Area Networking Cloud use case. If prior to viewing this video you have not watched our Introduction to Virtual Wide Area Networking, then please stop now and review it first. It will provide you greater context for the features discussed in this video. Connectivity between the managed cloud platform and the enterprise network will have a significant impact on the success of hybrid cloud computing. IT managers must have a sense of ownership of the remote virtual machines and peace of mind that they fit within corporate security policies. They must be reliable and in every respect behave like the other devices that run on the enterprise network today. Brand Apollo, sitting at layer 2, can establish optimal connectivity between a virtual machine in a managed cloud and the enterprise network by establishing a VLAN directly between the two. Apollo allows the remote virtual machine to get an IP address directly from the DHCP server on the enterprise subnet. Once this is achieved, all domain security, network neighborhood and browsing are totally integrated and conformant with enterprise policies. This use case will focus on a hybrid cloud architecture connecting public cloud instances to enterprise networks using a virtual wide area network delivered by Apollo, a software-based virtual wide area networking platform from Brand Communications. In this use case, Apollo server software is deployed at the edge of an enterprise LAN. The Apollo client software is installed onto a virtual machine image within a managed cloud architecture. When an instance containing an Apollo image is launched, a virtual wide area network tunnel is established from the virtual machine through the virtual NIC back to the server. The virtual machine now behaves in every respect as if it were on the LAN with the Apollo server, including using an IP address allocated to it by the server. This demonstration uses Citrix ZenCenter Virtual Machine Management Center. Template images have already been created so that an enterprise manager can provision a server with a single click. This image is a Windows Server 2008 with Apollo software already installed in the template image. When the virtual machine image is selected and the appropriate options are specified, such as number of CPUs, memory, storage used, and network interface, an instant of the image is launched. The instance has now started its build, and when completed, the virtual machine will have established its connection back to the enterprise network, where it becomes part of the corporate environment. The IT manager will see the virtual machine live on the enterprise domain with an IP address from the enterprise DHCP server. Within 20 seconds, the login appears. The virtual machine has been allocated an IP address that is part of a VLAN tunneled through the Apollo Layer 2 connection. This required no setup on behalf of the enterprise manager. Because the VM in this demonstration is part of the enterprise domain, login uses the enterprise domain credentials. Once logged into the VM, we can see the Apollo controller. This is not something that the enterprise manager needs to see, but is useful for this demonstration to show the uplink and the downlink bandwidth on a fully encrypted Layer 2 virtual wide area network between the virtual machine and the enterprise network. In this section, we show how a cloud service provider can deliver premium services with multiple paths or bearers back to the enterprise for a particular virtual machine. This uses Apollo's bonding features to deliver disaster recovery through resilience and diversity and increased bandwidth. The same process is used to create an instance of the template image that includes Apollo. The image template is provisioned with 4 network interfaces back to the enterprise network. The virtual machine still only gets one IP address from the enterprise DHCP, but 4 bearers will provide the connectivity. Logging into the virtual machine instance is accomplished using the domain login as before, but this time the Apollo software shows that there are 4 different network interfaces bonded together, providing connectivity back to the enterprise network. In this example, they are all LAN interfaces, but could be MPLS, Wi-Fi, DSL, cable, wireless, etc. All the network interface bandwidths are additive, with the virtual machine simply seeing the aggregate of them all. If one network interface fails, we can see that the others remain in operation. The bandwidth simply reduces by that of the loss bearer. When the interface is reinstated, the bandwidth is again added to the total. Looking at the IP address of the virtual machine reveals that it has been allocated a single IP address from the private address space of the enterprise domain subnet. So far we have provisioned a virtual machine with a single network interface and a virtual machine with 4 network interfaces. Now we will provision a virtual machine image with a disk encryption. In the event that the cloud data center is compromised, the enterprise manager may be concerned about what will happen to the enterprise data on the virtual machine. Brand Apollo can establish a virtual machine with disk encryption that is keyed to a network resource within the enterprise and has no dependencies on the cloud operator. As the virtual machine is launched and connects to the enterprise network, the disk encryption will be provisioned by the enterprise radius server or Active Directory. In the event that connectivity is lost between the enterprise and the virtual machine will enter an encrypted state. The disk encryption keys can be federated such that both the cloud administrator and the enterprise administrator have access to the keys to unencrypt the virtual machine if local laws require that the cloud operator take some responsibility for the data on their platform. In this example, we have a pre-configured image with APSafe installed, Apollo's disk encryption module. Logging into the virtual machine shows that there is an encrypted drive on the machine called APSafe. This might be where the enterprise stores sensitive information. All information that goes into this drive is encrypted. If the connectivity between the enterprise network and the virtual machine is removed, the encrypted drive disappears. Access to this drive requires the encryption key that resides within the Radius or Active Directory server on the enterprise network. When connectivity between the virtual machine and the enterprise network is once again enabled, the APSafe drive reappears because access to the key has once again been established. When an instance containing an Apollo image is launched, a virtual wide area network tunnel is established from the virtual machine through the virtual NIC back to the server. The virtual machine now behaves in every respect as if it were on the LAN with the Apollo server, including using an IP address allocated to it by the server.